Good evening, free enterprise fans, and welcome to this relaxing, scenic stroll through a latest Eblan Elixir League community race. We're taking things nice and easy, the scenic route through this whole thing, and I can't keep doing that. Welcome, everyone. It's a wonderful Eblan Elixir League. My name's Vitasia. I'm joined tonight on the mic by Poidric. How are we doing tonight?
From the deserts of Kaipo to the mountain of ordeals, all the way to the karate people of Fabul. We really should be just enjoying our... Yeah, you're right, we can't keep doing that.
Yeah, you think you know what you're doing, and then you're like, I'm running out of everything descriptive to talk about.
Yeah, we do have a lot of things descriptive to talk about, mostly Cultural versus Dr. Cossack and Neon Grey versus Cecil.
Absolutely. This is going to be a fantastic race. Now, just for the folks out there in the community, remember this is a team race. These are different teams. So the way I want to describe it, both of the teams racing tonight have one win this week. So effectively, if Dr. Cossack beats Cuts Rule, then that team does end up winning their matchup tonight. Same thing if Cecil beats Neon Grey. So if you like chaos, root for everyone on the left. If you want to see a clean sweep, root for everyone on the right.
So I'm going for the left myself, but Edward start our typical objectives of Queen, King, Cape Bahamut, Mazamune, Forge, and we have the Murasame altar that I can see there, and returning the pattern to the Yang's wife, and our final one, which may appear at some point. Who knows?
Yep, we would like to get some scroll down at some point, so we can't quite see it, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but with that one extra moon altar, that does mean we are going to need a darkness crystal at some point.
Absolutely. So, it's the White Spear altar is the last one. So,
the moon
White Spear, darkness is key. In fact, we get underground, we get darkness. We're kind of good, aren't we?
We are, yeah. It's and Edward Start is an interesting one. He's a fast character, and he's a little hard to build around. But Kane is a very good accompaniment to him.
Edward, I think, has had a bit of a glow up in this particular tournament. He can do a decent amount of damage if you get him some decent equipment. You don't have to have him do, zero miss levels of damage because zero miss isn't an option. Plus, he can cheese certain fights that you normally, are very difficult, especially in the late game with his hide abilities. So, Edward is not a character that I say no to too frequently in this flag set, actually.
Yeah, definitely he would like Artemis arrows, maybe finding that spoon somewhere. But if we do get the Forge, some of his harps in that are actually extremely good, like all of them.
Yeah, he does not have a bad Forge weapon. That is absolutely true. We do see a duplicate cane that's hanging out in Baron Inn as well. So less of an incentive to get that particular character if we need to. Although with Kane in the starting pool, especially when he's not your starting character, is close to ideal from my perspective.
Neon having to fight the doorman of Baron today, and trying to get into the shop and just wasn't letting them. So, oh well. But this is very much the way we see a lot of the runs shape out. We need money. We need a lot of money.
Yeah, we do. Most of Kane's weapons are on the more expensive side. Ooh, some black belts that Neon Gray is picking up there, I think in Silvera, or not Silvera, Mist Village. Cub's Rule is opening chests in all immediately in Eblan Castle. There are 3 trap chests in here, which are a little bit dangerous with only 2 party members, but he's found some high priced chests in there as well. So that being said, yeah, between Edward just needing gear to get really rolling and most of Kane's best equipment costing anywhere between, almost 100,000 gold or higher, really you need some good stuff to get him online as well.
Yeah, the cheapest things are likely going to be those black belts, and they're 18,000. So, but there's one of the big ones. Well, there's actually a couple of things in there. Dancing daggers are great early. These starting items for both Kane and Edward, and well, the dragoon spear is big.
Let's not. Cubs Rule also finds protect rings that are available there in Troya, but also the Thunderclaw that was there also in Kaipo. Let's not underestimate that. The Thunderclaw is a fantastic piece of gear that allows, if you have Yang or Edge, use them in the trap chests that are in the lower Tower of Babel. Remember, there's 4 chests. It kind of one-shots it and makes that trivial and very, very fast. Cubs Rule also found the Avenger, by the way, in Troya. So Troya shop's fantastic right now.
Yeah, Neon and Dr. Cossack have picked up a Dwarf Axe, so that Kane is going to be able to do some good damage from the back row for once. Usually he has to be in the front row because you don't find anything that can back row him. There's not really that much, but today, not so much.
Just a life staff in the Antlion Cave. And we also find Water Hag that's just hanging out. This is a bit of a punchy Water Hag, and remember, with the no free bosses, it's not just get through the script. We do actually have to kill the Water Hag with the HP at this spot.
Yeah, Cubs Rule is going up for the Flame Dog chest. Very early check here, especially with two base level characters, one being Edward and the other being Kane. Very dangerous, but if you can get through it, could get some high value very early on.
I think he'll be fine. I think Cubs was the one who found those early protect rings, which do fantastic against elemental damage. So both of these guys are going to be able to get through this pretty quickly.
Well, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You've got to get through 1,200 or so damage, and hitting for 50 a pop isn't really going to get you through that too quickly.
Yeah, trying to get that swoon proc off from the looks of it.
Yeah, easier said than done with a Edward anchor, because Flame Dog's not exactly slow, and Edward, the breakpoint of the agility here is actually quite hard to hit.
Yeah, so I want to make sure I say this out loud, and I'm trying to understand how the swoon proc ends up working. So Cubs Rule does get through it, does eventually deal enough damage. So that's a nice little boost. Just a ninja sword, so he resets out. To make sure I understand how the swoon proc ends up working, so the enemies have an ATB bar, just like all of your characters, and of course it moves relative to the agility of your hero, in this case, Edward. The only way to get a swoon proc is if you hit it when the enemy's ATB bar is effectively at 0. So in order to consistently get it set up, you have to have a queued up hourglass or a queued up attack with the assassin dagger going, right when the enemy attacks so that it comes immediately after with the ATB bar at 0. Did I explain that correctly?
For the most part, yes. There are a few other factors. Accuracy is still taken into account. You do need to have your attack actually hit, and I think not only does the attack need to hit, but the status needs to hit as well. So accuracy is involved, but for the most part, yes. As the closer it is to 0, the more chance you have of it actually working.
It looks like Neon is picking up, switching from the Dwarf Axe to an Ogre Axe for Kane. That's a pretty good pickup. It's capable of doing quite a bit of damage, and now your Kane is back road as well. Dr. Cossack, the only one with a Palom right at the moment as well. Cecil is down here taking on this Ruby fight at pretty low levels, and Ruby can hit a little hard, but does get through it.
I think he has a Ograx as well, which was for Cell Infable, so that would make the fight a heck of a lot easier. Never mind about an Ograx, because how about a White Spear?
Hey, I'll take a free White Spear. Still kind of looking enviously over at that Avenger sword that's available in Troya, but I will absolutely take a White Spear to help save a little bit of money and get things rolling here.
It's always the way, though. You've just bought a pretty high tier weapon, and Ograx is of 45,000, and you find something that's very expensive, and you want to use more than that.
Yeah, the Ogre Axe is still going to come in handy. I think that, we still have at least a couple Mad Ogre trap chests that swapping over to that Ogre Axe is going to end up dealing significantly more damage and get through those much, much faster than anything sticking with the White Lance.
Plus, we don't know about the rest of the team yet. We've only seen the 3 characters. Who knows? A Cid might turn up and be one of the 5 you take later. Or if you don't want to buy the Excalibur that we've seen in the shop, Cecil.
I mean, Cecil would be fantastic. There's duplicate White Spear. Right now, I'm starting to get a little bit worried about, where's our healing going to come from? If we're going to get any healing whatsoever. Edward is fine at throwing potions if we absolutely need him to. Of course, that's a more money sink that we have to invest in at that point in time. Haven't seen any sort of white mage or any point of a white mage up to this point in time, and let's face it, with the objectives as we have it set up right now, with 2 in the underground and then 4 up on the moon, it's going to be, get your objectives done as quickly as possible. These setups are very common for like 4-party seeds. We may not be doing much party gathering at all.
Yeah, I think for this team, with of course Palom withstanding, and you really want Kane to be berserked. You really want on Edward to be berserked to do their damage, and I think that's what we're going to miss more than healing at this stage, and probably later on if we don't find a white mage. Cure 3 pots will be available. But the berserk, being able to actually do the damage, that is the big question. And we do have the Avenger, which is a workaround, I suppose, but that's just for Kane. And Kane's good, but he can't do it all.
Berserk now does ask, does Avenger count as a white mage here? I mean, the best way to prevent damage is to kill it before it hurts you. So maybe.
Yeah, but a white mage gives so much. Yeah, Berserk, Cures, Blink. I think there's a dedicated white mage is a wonderful thing. We'll see really what turns up. Now, still a long way to go. We've still got plenty of checks. So I don't think anyone's actually checked the bed in Kaipo, despite them going there to check the shops. We've still got Zot, we've got the hook route, out underground, and we've got the Dwarf Castle, we've got the moon character, we've got to go through that. Plenty of opportunities still.
And we do find dancing dolls for the boss 2 in Mount Ordeals. That's rough because, I mean, we have Palom, so we have at least a character capable of casting magic. And they don't have a ton of health when you split it up across all of the dolls. You just hope that Palom can get the spell off and do enough damage to be able to sweep through.
Well, can't kill the ones at the front, so that's interesting. The dolls have a chance to get the big doll out here, though.
Yeah, this is turned into Calbrenna. Oh no.
This Calbrenna, though, does only have around about 1,000, maybe a little bit more health. So, as long as you don't hit that tiny threshold, where it turns back into the 6 dolls, you should be okay. Or just beat up Kane on your own.
Yeah, so as Dr. Cossack goes through here, we also see Cecil down here in the corner taking on the Mad Ogre's chest. So he's actually clearing out the chests that are in Eblan Castle, which we have not seen yet. Dr. Cossack going up here, doing Mount Ordeals. A bit of a risky play with this party. Remember, it's a 3-boss set. We don't have any boss hunts necessarily, and it's only for 1 key item. There's no Cecils and no Tellas so far in this seed, so they're the only ones that get powered up. And let's not forget, Sea Hero, your Eddie has to solo this.
We have a dancing dagger, though. I think we're going to be fine. Plus, I think we've seen a samurai bow and some charm arrows, so that would be decent as well. But you want to go up Ordeals?
Yeah. Okay, so that is our underground access. So everyone's gonna have to do this. It's interesting because the way the seed has been played, Neon Gray is doing it right now as well, but I would not be surprised if this is kind of the last location for everyone else when they come up here, because there's no other incentive to come up here.
Yeah, and this is the worst boss for a dancing dagger, Edward, by the way, because petrify.
I mean, he's doing over a third of the health. Okay. Whew.
Yeah, but one little tick of that, and you can't exactly guarantee when it's going to, if it's not going to turn up. You're a stone statue in the on the top of a mountain.
Also worth pointing out, Cecil did pick up the pan from one of the chests, so really nice pickup. in large part because that's going. I mean, turning that pan, obviously, it's going to get you at least 2 other checks in Sheila 1 and Sheila 2. Also, a nice high power item in the Sylph Cave at the same time. But I think more importantly than that, it's going to enable us to dodge one of the moon bosses. We're already worried a little bit about kind of the total power available for this particular party. Palom, great. Kane, great. Edward.
Edward's great. Hey, yeah, it could also allow you to dodge the King of Feymarsh, because we've seen that place be rough on a few with the tournament races this time around. And get the wrong boss there, then yeah, you don't want to even touch it.
Yeah, anytime you get a free objective that you don't actually have to fight a boss, you've already done all the fighting, it's just turning in, fantastic. Like, this is my free ticket to not fight a horrible, horrible boss.
Of BKC.
You just have to speak that into existence, don't you? Like, it's going to happen now.
It existed in my in the one race I've done so far, I'm sure, and I've seen it in a number of others. I haven't talked it into existence. It exists, just on its own. Cecil completed with the Castle Eblan now, so got a lot of additional levels ready to pretty much finish up the rest of the overworld checks. We've only seen a couple of items, so a couple of key items. So there's not really a whole lot up here at the moment. Cubswall was just about to give us the idea of what's in Baron though, and Twin Harp.
Remember when I said we're taking the scenic route? Let's take the scenic route.
That is a scenic route. As no one really wants to go there because it's so out of the way. People have been skipping that even with the Earth Crystal in hand. And so that's how far out it is at the moment to a lot of runners.
It's out of the way, it's a long cutscene, and it's for one check. Especially if you, knowing what we know, that the Magma Key is up on Mount Ordeals. I think a lot of people would end up doing Mount Ordeals before they do Twin Harp, and then, just completely fade it. It might be a last location check, but at the same time, in any randomizer race, it doesn't matter if it's Free Enterprise or Link to the Past or any of the hundreds of randos that are out there, when you're in a race one-on-one and you have to you have to gamble to win, sometimes the low percent play is the right play. So it'll be really interesting to see if anyone ends up biting on that heart.
Yeah, and when you miss a check, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. So yeah, we'll see if people are worried about it. Perhaps we're always having a hard time trying to save on the hourglasses, as with the Avenger Cane, but Mad Ogres don't really care too much if you don't stop them. They just say, yeah, I'll punch you to Baron and back.
Yep, they'll hit hard. They're punchy.
So, 3 key items. We do know where the Magma Key is. I'm surprised that Dr. Cossack or Neon haven't gone down to... well, Dr. Cossack at least is to go and do that pan check, but then again, he's only just got it, hasn't he? That sort of does make a dent in that thought just a moment ago.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be about the first thing he does, because I don't think Dr. Cossack has done the Fabul defense yet either. And it's a magical moment when you can just make one trip to Fabul and then you're done.
So Cecil, I think, has just been given the information that it's either Twin Harp or Deals. So he'll be on his way there. Cubsrall is clearing out now. Eblan going to get the same information, and Neon and Dr. Cossack know where the magma key is, so maybe they'll head down. We'll see. True, Flame Dog for Cecil, since he is going up there now.
I wouldn't be surprised if he saves Scum right there. So then, once he figures out that Flame Dog is nothing, I believe it was just a ninja sword that we saw earlier from Cubsrall, he'll likely reset out.
Yeah, Cubsrall has been very, very cagey with those hourglasses. Hasn't used a single one yet. This is the first one now.
I can understand, because you're given 3 hourglasses, but there's a lot of different fights that you want to be able to save them on, especially when you're in kind of a Jetty Seed setup like we have. Like, we're going to have to be at least a handful of moon bosses. Saving those hourglasses for a couple other checks, like the warrior chest down in the Feymarch or the hairdryer check back on the moon. If you're able to save a couple of those hourglasses for those checks in specific, where you can get a lot of life glitches off and really ramp up the experience, that can help slingshot your party to being able to take on some kind of medium difficulty bosses at that point in time. So I understand what Cubs is doing. It's good levels early game if you use your hourglasses there, but if you can save a couple of them for Warrior's Chest and Hairdryer Chest, both of those will get you enough levels to really ramp things through into the moon.
Dr. Cossack has found the Arspis bow in Tomra downstairs. Not picking one up, but probably hoping out for maybe finding the spoon or the forge. Most likely because Edward, although he's our hero, isn't really going to be the big part of the plan on this. It's going to be more to Palom and Kane, I'm assuming, or anyone else we find, depending. Early warrior chest, though, I've so going to be able to freely loot the entirety of this cave. So more money coming in.
We are getting close to having close to all the money we need. We have full cleared Eblan Castle. We've done all of our early looting. And between that and what we have here in the Feymarch checks, we have close to 200, 300,000 gold, I would have to think.
It's so easy to just overloot your money, though, isn't it, on this, because of all the trap chests?
It really is, because of all the trap chests. And Cubsrall, being the people's hero, I thought Cubs was Team Fate Heart. I thought he not quite president of Team Fate Heart, but Cubs is still going to Heart right now.
Bethel is on the way as well, so we are going to have dueling twin hubs. didn't see what the item was in the Feymarch free chest, but doesn't look like it was anything really that important. An elixir? Yeah, not really that important. Oh!
I blinked and I missed it.
That is King Queen Eblan in the Asura spot, so 3, and the Gauntlet in the King spot, in the Leviathan spot.
Okay, I mean, I don't like it, but I don't hate it either. Like King Queen, absolutely get some levels, and I think between the warrior chest and then you do that, if you can do those, you'll have and then you'll get a lot of great experience doing the gauntlet.
Yeah, you usually you tend to be afraid of what's at those 2 spots, but today I think our runners are looking at that and going, Anyways, we should really be quiet for Harp, shouldn't we? Oh.
All right, so Cubs just powered through that. Cecil taking a little bit longer. Looks like trying to play it a little bit safer. I don't hate it.
That puts Edward into a very handsome position. You're walking out because you don't have any way of exiting, but a spoon in Edward's hands? Yeah, you want that.
Yeah, you do want that. It's progression in that things melt much faster now. There's it's not a key item, so you don't get any more clarity, but things in front of you standing in your path will bend to the spoon.
Yuri Geller, we're not needing your services today.
All right, Dr. Cossack now showing us Sheila 1 and Sheila 2. This is a great combo here. Just a protect ring from Sheila 1 and turning in the pan for the objective. Oh, that's intriguing.
You want more money because there's a treasury for it. Do you want more characters, which is probably more along the way of yes, please. There's 2 up there. Cubs are always checking every single location now, except for Ordeals. Is just about to find out the bad news that, yeah, you've got to go up there.
Yeah, it's not great, but at this point you have the levels to be able to go through there. And more than that, you should not be worried about Ordeals check with an Edward soloing it when he's spoonward now. He is The spoon is, of course, if you're new to the free enterprise community, it's one of the few changes to the original game that have been coded into it. It is a special flag. The spoon normally is, of course, a throwable item that Sheila gives you once you turn the pan back into her. It is the single highest attack power weapon in the game, side by side with the crystal sword. But no one can equip it. So, in true Spoony Bard fashion, in the free enterprise community, Edward can equip it, giving him at least some utility and the height of the definition of the glass cannon, if he happens to come across it.
Abdul is heading up to the ordeals chamber now. I don't see that they will have any issue with the bosses here. It was Dr. Lugay into the dolls into Even Wool. It's a fairly okay ordeals overall.
Yeah, with the levels between Avenging and
Treasury!
Very, very quickly. Dr. Cossack is raiding that treasury, and there was some good treasure. We're over 400,000 gold on Dr.
And that's
Cossack's
after buying an Avenger. Yeah, why not have all the money?
It's like, yeah, remember, we have protection rings that are available right there in Troy, and it's like, yeah, everyone's getting protect rings. Everyone.
I'll still hold out for the crystal rings. They're a little bit more expensive and haven't been found yet, but I'll still hold out for them.
I can understand that. I like the lower price point of the protect rings, and the elemental resistance to me is just mwah.
And we still do have a few elemental sling and spell bosses that made no sense, but never mind. Out there and still available, so could still be useful, especially in some of the higher magic spot locations. Mostly the Mazamune altar, I think.
So Neon Gray also going here and doing the combo with the Earth Crystal and Twin Heart, which Dr. Cossack does not have the Twin Heart, so was not able to do the combo. Neon going to be rewarded with the spoon, but Dr. Cossack really has enough power with the cane and the Palom right now. Doesn't seem like he really needs the spoon, at least at the moment.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine. Spoonwood is nice, but it's not required when you've got a cane with an Avenger and Palom able to actually do what Palom does best, and that is open holes in the earth to drop people into. Wow, really?
Bonus round!
I think the only the question and that should be asked is, why wasn't this Magma Key?
It would have been fantastic. I mean, it would have been hilarious from a perspective on our side. You think about Cubs Rule, who, sub 3 minutes was in there checking the Flame Dog chest. Imagine that last location going, oh, demist here? Really?
Well, that still could be the Darkness Crystal. Oh, Demist, once you defeat it, you do get a check at Rydia's mother in Mist. So we'll see what our sleeping lady has in the middle of the town today. That's a nice finding Dwarf Castle there. Artemis arrows.
Absolutely. Dr. Cossack does find Mylan, and it was a double scoop of vanilla. Not only was Kane one of the characters, we had Golbez, so we know Golbez is waiting for us as boss number 2 in Dwarf Castle when we get there.
And we do have a monk as our 4th character. So that Thunderclaw that was found earlier is definitely going to pay a little bit of money back.
Pinktail, you don't feel good about that. You're kind of hoping that for the time investment you had there, you're getting something a little bit more. But happy with the 4th character because at least kind of a little bit. At least it's the 4th.
Yeah, Pinktail could be useful for maybe an item, but it would need to be really. The options that it would be a good item at this point for the team is very narrow. Since we've got an Avenger, we've got a White Spear, we know where a Dragoon Spear is, we've got plenty of money for that. We've got a Crystal Sword. At this point, Moonveil might be the best option.
Yeah, a Moonveil could absolutely get us. I mean, we know that the Fey March has set us up for success right now between everything that we have going for us. It's just a matter of getting a few levels. Really, the rough part is Yang is one of those characters that really only gets good at those higher levels. And I don't know if we're going to see those levels from him. Thunderclaw is fantastic, can get us through those trap chests quick. But other than that, we're also at the levels right now that Avenger Kane kind of just takes care of it too.
Yeah. That's always given us our first peek of the first spot of Dwarf Castle, with Leviathan being there. So, not bad. The physical attack of this area is a little bit more dangerous than the magic, but it's still fairly dangerous for this sort of team.
Sand Ruby, located from Demas turn-in. There's that hourglass I was talking about earlier for Cubs rule. So we're going through the warrior chest. And it looks like we are going to try to kill them off one at a time so that we can try to get some life glitches off. Or maybe not,
That's a Palom, isn't it?
It is... No, that's a Porum in bed.
Okay, so we do have a white mage. Dr. Cossack has found help, and Cecil has found himself.
Good job, Cecil. So I know we've seen crystal swords around.
We've got a crystal sword in hand. There was one found in Eblan.
Okay, so Cecil has Cecil.
would be nice if he could get some experience at this point, but I don't think you're going to worry too much about this particular fight. You just want to finish it. Or you could just let it happen. I forgot how bad the magic stat is at that spot.
All right, so Dr. Cossack gave Xenocat a bit of a heart attack. It's like, oh, if he goes hard, so much power. But Cecil now defeats Golbez, which, you know, that's something we say every seed, but it's always fun to say it this way.
I'm pretty sure Cecil's was racing against Neon Grey, not Golbez, but there we go.
Golbez, and Golbez is not participating in this particular race, so I also don't want to receive. Yeah, I don't want to receive a cease and desist for mentioning them outside of the context of them.
You might be too late.
It's coming, isn't it? I know.
Yeah.
Here comes my DMs.
Cubswell is going to just have a look at this and go, yes, please, I will take both of you, if possible. Still only the 3 characters, but you don't need more than this for this particular fight. Right? The Queen only does Fire 1, the King only does weak Fire 2s. Yeah, you don't worry. Especially when you've got Protect Rings.
With everything in this seed that's giving us Avenger Kane, Spoonword, Crystal Sword Cecil, you know, it's given us plenty of power to get through everything that we might face. It's just a matter of how efficiently can you get that power and get it up and going.
Was Cecil high enough level to warp glitch?
I don't think he was. I think he was between the Quake and Warp levels.
Okay, so we could be in a situation for him that that Darkness Crystal is waiting in the Luca Cave in its vanilla spot, and he's going to need to find that Luca key. So if we see that in one of the trap chests along the way, Cecil was probably going to go,
Meanwhile, Cubs Rule does take out the King and Queen with his 3-person party right now. Avenger Kane doing all the work. Meanwhile, Dr. Cossack is still checking key items right now instead of clearing bosses.
Well, the thing about the bosses is that there's only really one boss at the moment that will give you a key item, and that's the Dwarf Castle. Everything else, all the other checks at the moment are really in trap chests, so why not go to the easy chests first? Plus, you've got a tower key that we got from the very start of the game. Might as well do that at the same time.
Oh, I get it. Absolutely. And Bahamut here is nice to see as well. Hubsarul taking on the Fey March, you know, the alt gauntlet here. Avenger Kane doing quite a bit of work, although Quake hurts. Was it Quake? As Quake Kid does his best Ruby impression.
Luckily, it's now the huge Naga, and then it's the ones that could be a little bit more difficult in the Clappers, but I think Cubsful is going to be fine. Wow, but actually, you don't usually get to see that. On Dr. Cossack's side, we had the normal Naga. On Cubsful's side, we had the huge Naga. In a Final Fantasy 4 Free Enterprise seed. Okay.
Every time we think we've seen everything, something comes up and it's like, oh, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, forget about our dueling and D machines, dueling Nagas.
Oh no, Dr. Cossack did just find the Luca key. Looks like he's going to go safety save before taking on top of tower, but that Luca key is at least our logical access to getting that second check in Dwarf Castle where we warp glitch. I don't like seeing that actually. If I'm Cecil, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, and Cubsful was saying, yeah, I've got this far. I'm not wasting another any more time. This hourglass is for you. Oh, that's a wonderful top of tower boss.
Kenyatta isn't bad here. His speed is a little bit odd because this is kind of a slow spot, but if you can get into the rhythm, and we have a full party right here, like he's not bad, honestly.
I think Edward's in a perfect position to nerf this first wave and make sure it doesn't go off. And the punches here aren't too bad, but you need to get the hit points down quick, because you don't have, this team doesn't have a lot outside of Yang, who's over 1,000. He's the only one, but I think he's got just about the right amount of speed on Edward.
I'm a little worried this Lit 2 cast is taking a long time that he was trying to queue up. It'll be interesting. I worry that the wave is still going to go off.
It probably will, but I think there's been enough damage taken that everyone should survive. Purim could just say, hey, what wave?
I mean, everyone important survived. Remember, Dr. Cossack is the one character who has not gone and picked up that spoon, so Edward's not doing anything particularly special.
Always going through the pan checks now. Also going to be able to find their Earth Crystal. And Neon's just picked up the Luca key.
All right, so Darkness Crystal could be Luca key, because we have not seen that. Dr. Cossack is showing us there's the adamant. Oh boy, I think so it could be in the warp glitch in Luca Cave, or we're looking at Darkness and Self trap chests, which is
yeah, Sylph is a big enigma in this tournament. No one wants to go there to do it, but there are times when you just have to. And today, would you rather do Sylph or... Well, the first check is going to be Dwarf Castle. Go through that to pick up, do the warp glitch to get the item back there. So, yeah, Dwarf Castle, then Sylph.
So here's the thing. Dr. Cossack has a significant advantage over everyone else, and I think everyone else is going to end up doing Earth Crystal before they do Sylph as well. But Dr. Cossack is going to have enough kind of runway to get Porum to the point. Oh, okay, maybe we do the hook turn-ins as well. But
There's a couple of trap chest options down there.
What I was going to say is there's Dr. Cossack, I think, is going to be the only person, maybe Cubs Rule, because he's doing Earth Crystal right now, to get the runway and to have enough fights left so that Porum learns Float. One, having a white mage to be able to heal you up walking through those poison steps is going to be a big advantage anyway. But two, if you can just cast Float on your party so that you don't have to keep healing up every time you run into a small group of chests, it makes it go much faster having to clear all of those out. So in this one, I'm giving kind of an edge to Dr. Cossack just based on how early he got his white mage and will be able to get her online and able to contribute for that horrible self check. Of course, if it's in the hook checks, just throw all of that out the window.
Yeah, and Cubs Rule might not even check the Sand Ruby at this point. Like, it's a good possibility that they do, but sorry, not the Sand Ruby bed. There's a good possibility that they do, but you've got other places that you can be doing that more active checks.
This is true. And it's worth noting that Cubs has also already done the first two objectives. He's already gotten all of the experience needed, almost committing himself to saying, hey, I don't need characters. We can get through this seed quickly. Dr. Cossack, on the other hand, is, a little bit behind in that regard. But then just getting a Cecil as well and saying, hey, by the way, I don't need a Yang anymore.
Yeah, Cubs has the levels, while Cossack has the team. That's the big distinguisher between them. And for that, at least for our top two runners, for the bottom two, Neon's getting through checks a little bit quicker than Cecil, but Cecil is building up a lot of power with that Cecil. In the party, so he's going to speed along with some of the checks that Neon's already done. So it's these two races that are going on here. They have very different dynamics going to them between the runners of each individual race.
Absolutely. And yeah, chat pointing out, a lot of the guidance that we're going to be given for this seed is going to happen as soon as Dr. Cossack finishes this particular fight and then lets us know, hey, are we in the right spot here? Doing the warp glitch is going to give us a little bit of clarity. Also doing those other hook checks, simply put, in part, and it's going to be kind of bad for Cecil as well. If it's right here, then he's been on kind of a chase right now.
Cubs can now enjoy their pink tail. no hook to go with it, but honestly, do we hand in the pink tail if we don't have the rat tail? I don't believe that's really ever an option at this point.
No. I mean, every runner, when you look at these objectives, just knows that you are like, it is a race to the darkness crystal because of how many objectives are locked behind it. And Dr. Cossack finds the package. Oh no. And
That's good for Cecil.
Yeah, that is good for Cecil. All right, now I gotta think Hook herself.
It's got to be. You've got to check the hook hook stuff first. It's only 2 and it's another sort of shop if you want to do more shopping, but it's only 2 checks, but it's quicker to do than the Sylph, and you don't have to worry about dying in some places, because the trap chests in Sylph are actually fairly rude when you don't have any way to stop them.
Xenocat, our restreamer, also pointing out that just with the fill logic going in, the trap chests in the hook route are significantly higher likelihood to have key items than the Sylph trap chests. Now, there's 7 of them in Sylph, and they're kind of spread out versus the 2 that are going to be on the hook route. So there's a little bit of that to take into consideration, but there's still, I think, a greater likelihood that something is in hook route.
There's Cecil getting that Earth Crystal. I can't see him not going there at this point in time. It's a main check. There's characters there. He still hasn't got his full team. Yeah, I think he's going to go there, even and with everything else available. Yeah. So Dr. Cossack does dive the hook.
So we've seen 6 of our 7 characters up to this point in time. We've ditched a Yang, but we have Palom, Porum, our hero Edward, Cecil, and King, and then the Yang that we've ditched. Possibly our 7th character is here.
Could very well be possible. Oh, and if you're going to get to the Mad Ogre's ×4 chest, yes, you do need to go and see who that character is.
Yeah, you do have. I mean, you have to check everything on your way through. I mean, you're hoping that the Darkness Crystal is just first check so you can leave immediately. Which, okay, that would be great, but not likely the case. I mean, it'd be fantastic. Wishful thinking.
And this trap chest is pretty buried, it seems. Yeah, heading into the last couple of screens. It is the place where the majority of the chests are, so it's not really surprising, but it always feels bad in a race situation when you're looking for something and it just doesn't show up early.
On the bright side, I think with Cecil at level 1, the median party level is low, or more than 10 levels up, so he might get quite a few levels out of that.
Yeah, plus 10 key items does give an extra boost on there.
Oh
That was the
no,
right.
Rat Tail.
No, yeah, that's if that's there, you have to check the. If the darkness crystal was there, you have to check the Mad Ogre chest at the back here, so it's going to delay that. But just another Palom on the hook route, so still no idea of who our 7th is.
All
And
right,
yeah,
so
for all we know, that Darkness Crystal's or rabbit hole, as Apex Corvid is saying, could still be in Sylph.
could still be himself. I mean, I know some people are saying, "Hey, let's have that Rat Tail turn and be the Baron Key," because why not? Let's just keep diving down this rabbit hole. Let's give it the Legend Sword as well in this trap chest, because why not?
Well, if it is the Legend Sword, that does complete another objective and does remove 2 of the moon things. So you can get everything done with just the Cape Bahamut and the Murasame, which saves you having to go all the way down.
That's right, Darth Plagueis. You're absolutely right. Reminder, we're taking the scenic route through this seed. A nice, calm, relaxing seed.
For us, at least. For our runners, they're they're probably thinking, "Where is this darkness crystal? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?"
And yeah, and of course the trap chest is the very last chest as well. So at this point we're just kind of letting Kane swing and it's like, come on, let's get some life glitches. Get as much experience as we can get.
I don't think Bethel's in slingshot range now, unfortunately, so
He's not, but we're at 10 key items, and remember, we're thinking that we're going to have to take on some nasty bosses up on the moon. Dr. Cossack has seen that there are at least a couple free bosses kind of available in the Fey March, so he just has to get those done. But levels are everyone's friend right at the moment.
And Cecil has just opened the chest that is going to hurt. He's going to look at and go, "Ah, there's a Luca key for him."
It's just an elixir. Oh boy.
Unfortunately, you can't warp out of here, as Dr. Cossack is just finding out. So, yeah, and if you warp, you go back to that last thing. You've got to walk out now. If you go into that last room, you have to walk out if you want to keep the item.
Yeah, not a whole lot of fun. I think what I do in this case is I try to safety save in the save just before the character check, because if this ends up being a zonk, I want to reset out. But he also wants to preserve the levels as well that he ended up getting there. So I
Yeah,
guess
that's definitely the driving factor of keeping that fight intact. So, are we looking at Sylph Cave?
I think we're looking at Rat Tail and following that till the ends of the earth, and then Sylph Cave.
Yeah, there's still places is where the Baron Key and the Legend Sword could be up there, other trap chests. As we've still got Last Arm, and the Hairdryer's chest. But that Darkness Crystal We're running very low on spots.
And here's the trick is, okay, as we have the rat tail turn in, it is the Baron key. Oh boy.
Good luck.
Not even turning in the pigtail. Not even wasting time.
At this point, with how long this chain is, oh yeah, Dr. Cossack hasn't done the twin harp either.
Oh, this is horrible. Oh no. This is okay. Here's the problem. If you're Dr. Cossack, you take the time to do this. Do you reset out of it to save the couple seconds, knowing that it's a game changer for damage?
Yes. Because you've got Avenger and a Crystal Sword Cecil.
Yeah, Xenocat deserves a round of applause for, forcing all runners, not forcing, but tricking all runners into doing a harp that was not required.
Very true that Cecil does learn the exit spell, so could keep it and save a little bit of time. I'm over the other runners who have done this twin harp check, but do you want to save that little few extra seconds to get back to the airship as soon as possible?
I mean,
do you just reset out of spite?
I mean, I probably reset. Like, I have my finger hovering over the reset button, waiting for that to pop up, and I might accidentally tap it when I see not darkness.
But for one last time, more music.
And that was
was
a
very much quicker
significantly
fight.
shorter fight. Yeah.
No mucking around with any mage equipment, mage killing gear. No, just let Avenger Cecil do Avenger Cecil, Avenger Kane do Avenger Kane things, and Crystal Sword Cecil do Crystal Sword Cecil things. And Dr. Cossack is taking the spoon. It is a little bit of extra damage that Edward can bring in, and I don't think it's really required, but yeah, exit on Cecil is the changer for that. And Paul.
So Cub's rule does reset out of the elixir, but doesn't have a Cecil, doesn't have a Porum, can't exit out. Still rocking only 3 party members here on Cub's rule side. So gotta wonder, okay, doing the tails turn in to follow Baron Key, or do you follow up on the other traditional checks?
Did Ed Cupsall check like the Rydia's sunbathing mother in Mist?
Check the Sand Ruby, reset out of the Sand Ruby.
Okay. So he does know where that is. It's really just a matter of going to Dwarf Castle, which Hub seems to be against today.
Also, turning in the pigtail so we get satisfaction. It is the Dragoon Lance, so something that we've seen over and over and over in this scene. Nothing special, but now the Baron Key.
Meanwhile, Neon is taking out the two bosses in Flamemarsh. Sort of going under the radar with everything they're doing in at the moment. It's it's been in steady progress, but not really going out of the way of anything, it seems. Levels are looking good though for the rest of this seed to go forward.
Nix is asking, isn't there trap chest in Zot? There is one trap chest in Tower of Zot, the Flame Dog chest, that most runner, I think we've already gotten it, and Cecil already did earlier.
Yeah. It was a ninja blade. So nothing for this team at all, unless we happen to find Edge sitting in just outside the door of the throne room here or up on the moon.
So this team, realistically, that Dr. Cossack has is about the most power that you can possibly squeeze out of a free enterprise seed. Crystal Sword Cecil, Avenger Kane, Spoonword, a Quake Kid fully charged up, Porum, which is fine, also Odin in a French vanilla spot.
King just was wanting to play as the king today. Why give up the throne if you don't have to?
Yeah, if Baron ends up being the Darkness Crystal, we'll figure out one way or the other. This is either darkness or darkness is in the Sylph Cave. Keep in mind, Cub's Rule has two objectives in the underworld that Dr. Cossack has not done, the King and Queen fights. And while the one fight is going to be relatively quick in King and Queen Eblan in Asura, the other one is the Feymarch alt, or the alt gauntlet from Fabul, which takes some time to clear. So there's not, comparing the two, Dr. Cossack still has a better team, and I think can get through all the fights much easier. Cubs Rule has been rocking 3 characters this entire time.
Oh, can't forget the young that got picked up on.
Okay, the young. Okay.
You know what? It's in Sylph.
It is in Sylph. So Dr. Cossack says, okay, I'm going to clear out the bosses while I can. Oh, and do the warrior chest because he wants some levels. Okay.
This may get him between the fights in the Feymarsh, and this one may get Porum up to float, but she does get it really, really late, so may not quite get there.
Just Zeus gauntlets, but between that and the 2 bosses down here, maybe. It will be interesting. Cubs Rule now knows, we'll have some other checks to do. These we know are going to be empty checks, which the race on top is just absolutely stunning. The race on the bottom is very tight as well. All 4 of these runners are going to be completing very, very close to one another. Remember, Dr. Cossack's team and Cecil's team have a 1-0 advantage over their opponents this week so far. If Dr. Cossack wins, their team will win for the week. If Cecil wins, their team wins for the week. Otherwise, it goes to a tie 1-1. So again, if you're Team Chaos like me, root for the left or root for the right if you want to see a clean sweep.
I think it's all going to matter on how quickly does Dr. Cossack get through the gauntlet. This fight's going to be a fairly quick with Cecil and Payne doing as much damage as they are, and Edward as well at this point. Right, but the gauntlet, that one's a little harder to gauge. But you can't forget that Hallam is actually is quite a bit more powerful than Cubsrul's one was at the time as well.
So Cubsrul also is picking up Cecil as well. So that's has a full party at this point. Now on the Golbez fight while King Queen Eblan goes down. So now we are in the Fabul alt gauntlet. Gonna try to get through. Should be a much faster fight.
Neon is heading down to find their whole lot of not much down in the these two checks, but
keep on going down that rabbit hole. I get it.
Yeah. That's 2 fights down for Dr. Cossack. He's getting through these fights fairly quickly, but the Conjurers are still getting a call off, which does slow it down a little bit.
That's just extra experience trying to get flow here.
Fair. For the clappers. Cubsrul has picked up the win over Golbez, just about to get their defense sword and package. Going to look at them and go, I don't think these go together.
Float was just learned by Porum, so certainly getting through this. Understands that it's just the defense sword, so we have just a very interesting race. It does look like Cubsrul will be the first to the Fey March. Party's going to look a little bit different and not going to have quite the same power that Dr. Cossack has, but does have a little bit of a straight line lead right now.
Yeah. I think Dr. Cossack is going to have a little bit more of an ease because of that float spell to get through all these, because you having to heal between the fights is long-winded, and especially when your best heal is a cure 2 from Cecil or 3 cure 3 potions.
This might come down to how deep the darkness crystal is, and if it's an early, like, there's no advantage that Dr. Cossack can squeeze out of it. If it's deep though, Dr. Cossack can really leverage that float and the heals that he has to be able to get through. So Cubsrul just finding a crystal sword in the first one.
Okay, that wasn't his only crystal sword. I was I was a little worried that he might have sold the first one at some point.
Worth pointing out that Cecil is also in Sylph Cave, and another crystal sword. All the crystal swords available in Sylph Cave.
Buy one in Eblan, get 2 free in Sylph. So this does put Cecil on the bottom race at a little bit of an advantage because we know that the darkness crystal is in here. So he's going to be able to be ready to go to the moon very soon afterwards. Neon is going to be sort of a little bit behind, but I'm pretty sure that their mind is going to go to Sylph very soon after this.
And here's where we're seeing Dr. Cossack is going to make up a lot of time. Cubs Rule has to kind of stop and heal up every so often, just worried about the damage that he's taking. They're both following the same route, which is super interesting. They're both going top side first before going to the more dense bottom side. Only finding, I think, just the one trap chest before having to dive back in.
But Cecil has found the darkness crystal on the backside. And is heading up to the moon. They are ready. They are going.
The levels are set perfectly well right at the moment. So if this is early, that was in one of the first chests in that one. I think it's this one that Dr. Cossack is in right now. So if no, not this one. It's a ghost chest.
Yeah, I think it's the one just around the back of this one through the secret path. This one is the crystal sword. Oh, apparently it's another floor down. So, but it's still close enough that, yeah, we're going to see it very, very soon.
So Cubs Rule will enter Sylph Cave first, but Dr. Cossack will come out. It's all going to come down to the efficiency of the fights. And, I mean, both runners are at pretty high levels. I think Cossack probably has a few more levels than Cubs Rule does.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. The other thing that was sort of in Dr. Cossack's favour for this was the Palom was very much in the correct spot, and yes, that was the darkness crystal. So yeah, able to get the quakes out a lot quicker in the fight than Upsal's Palom. Palom's slow speed compared to pretty much everyone else in this party is paying a little bit of a detriment to that. But not too far behind. There's the darkness crystal. We have 3 of our team, 3 of our players in go mode.
And this is one of those seeds that we had to do just about everything. And here's the problem: we weren't able to forge. We were only able to do one other key item check. So we do have one kind of free check where if we look at something and say, no, I don't want to do that, I can move on. That might make the difference here in this race. Remember, Cubs is at a little bit lower of a level than Dr. Cossack. I would say that he's more likely to back out of a really rough looking spot. He also doesn't have a white mage, so he can't, like, if something is really punchy, he wouldn't be able to handle it quite as well as Dr. Cossack as well. That being said, Cubs Rule is a fantastic runner and certainly capable of handling himself incredibly well in some tough situations. So this is a race, to say the least.
Yeah. Let's not forget at the bottom bed here. Cecil is going toe to toe with the two runners on the top as well. Now, Neon is just unfortunately falling down the rabbit hole. Oh, but still right there.
Absolutely. I mean, we're at an hour 27. We've seen a lot of tournament seeds, especially in this flag set, and 106, 108. Anything past the 1 hour mark, and as a runner, you kind of start looking over and seeing if there's a dot done yet. We're at 128 at this point in time. So all of these runners are probably going, oh no. I mean, they're in go mode now, so they know everyone probably fell down pretty much the same rabbit holes together.
Cecil has taken down Val on behalf of Cecil. Ribbon's not bad. That is good headwear, but you don't really care too much about that. You just want to get on your way to the next.
That elixir coming in handy there. And it's immediately reversed.
So, who is our? Do we get to see the 7th character, or are they just controlling the Giant of Babel for some odd reason, or waiting in the package?
It could be the package, absolutely. Man, Val is going after that Cecil.
Well, I'm going to take a teller.
No, not going to take a teller.
Yeah, no character on the moon today. So what's the choice for? What's the choice for you? You've got we've got the Murasame, we've got the White Spear, and we've got the Masamune. Do you do the Murasame and one of the bottom ones, or the two bottom ones?
I mean, the two bottom ones are pretty close to one another. The Murasame and White Spear altar, or the Masamune and White Spear altar, are pretty close. So it's not as out of the way as the Mura, but I don't know. If you're worried about something nasty, I don't know.
Yeah.
The levels, yeah.
Yeah, the Murasame spot is slightly easier than, say, the Masamune spot. And the White Spear spot does hit hard. So there could be some rudeness still left here. But it's really a case of personal preference. How far are you wanting to walk?
Absolutely. Cubs Rule does have a little bit cleaner of a Val fight, so making up a little bit of time there from Dr. Cossack as Dr. Cossack is on his way down. Meanwhile, Cecil opting, looks like dodging the Mura altar and says, hey, these two are closer together. I've been fine with everything so far. Elements, I don't hate it here.
Oh, this is a very good fight, right, for the White Spear spot. Yeah, no, it doesn't have a whole lot of hit points, and you're able to get through this fairly easily with the team. To note, Neon is just about to pick up their darkness crystals, so we'll be heading to the moon very shortly.
Meanwhile, Cossack is taking on the Mura altar. We mentioned it normally is a little bit of an easier fight. Oh.
Yeah, you go down.
I reset out of this immediately.
Cecil has avoided himself. Yeah, you don't have the healing for this. You really don't. And you've got 2 spots down and below that are much easier to deal with. You go through those fights. At least I do. Dr. Kostak might be able to get through this, but yeah, he's decided that's it.
You saw that he took 3 waves before he reset it out of that. Maybe he was thinking it was 3-5.
Oh no, he hadn't saved. I just saw where his thing, where he was, and that's down in Feymarsh.
Oh no. Oh, we've all been there after a long fight, forgetting to save. That's a frustrating one. Oh, my
It's
gosh.
not how forgetting to save. It's forgetting to save for so long as well.
That's okay. My heart goes out to you,
Oh no,
Dr.
it's in Baron Castle, but it's still a long way. No darkness crystal.
No darkness, no. Oh my gosh, no king queen fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to you, Dr. Cossack. It was a solid run race. Oh my gosh.
And our final boss isn't exactly free, but it's not bad. The guards here are actually quite rude, especially with the with the boss bit on. Because you can't mute them, so the sizes are going to happen, the piggies are going to happen. The magic power is high enough that they will hit every single time.
All right, so Cubs Rule is on his way down. You know, 2 not difficult bosses. You can't mute these guards, unfortunately. So you kind of have to be. I mean, well, we saw a ribbon at some point. I think that was a reward for killing Bahamut, maybe.
Yeah, the Bahamut spot, and there have been a few others found. So put one on Cecil. Maybe he can be okay, but this fight isn't exactly. It hits hard. You can't avoid the statuses for the most part. Yeah, this fight is difficult. I feel this is definitely the challenge of the seed, if you don't count that DKC.
True, and yeah, I don't think anyone can count that Dark Knight Cecil. That's, I mean, we found the pan kind of in the natural progression of things anyway. I don't think anyone thought that they avoided the pan or that was something that they could have dodged just to focus on the moon bosses. So yeah, that Dark Knight Cecil is out of the question. That was a rude fight.
This fight here in that Cecil is now reattempting. If this doesn't go well in a few more attempts, Neon could be brought back into this because that they find the Legend Sword. Because they are sticking around in the Silk Cave doing extra checks here.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Maybe not quite comfortable with the levels of the team, going for a power overwhelming strat, which I dig.
Yeah, I can definitely see Cecil, or maybe, let's say he fails it 1, maybe 2 more times, going and checking that, finding out that Dark Knight Cecil is at the Norasame spot, having issues with that. So this Yeah, I can definitely see Neon get back into this race because of finding a legend sword just somewhere in here.
Yeah, this is turning out to be a pretty rude spot for these guards. We're seeing Cubs roll on it now, and yep, sizes and piggies are being cast all around. I don't know. It looks like Cubs roll might have one of those ribbons equipped.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Cecil is in the back row with Crystal Sword or Drenger with that ribbon. The ribbon does give mage defense as well. The guards are mages, so he's won this fight.
Yeah, these bosses, everything they're casting is being dodged right now. So
I think he's also
yeah.
got a glass hat on his Cecil. So I think that is coming into play as well. And yeah, there goes the fight. There goes the win.
GG's Cubs rules. So that does keep the team alive, moving to as a team 1-1 for let's see, New Moon. GG's Cubs.
We'll see if they are going to come into a interview and meanwhile Neon just going through those trap chests still. Cecil doing their utmost to destroy the guards, having a much harder time, but lower levels and not quite the same equipment, but still giving it a good shot. Oh, one of the guards is down, so looks like it's going to go through this time.
Looks like it.
Once you got one down, that's half the battle won.
And if you have a Zerker going as well, it also it just makes it so much easier.
It's not over just yet though. That Cecil did just get sized. I just heard a badump.
There does appear to be a badump.
Yep.
Oh, it's the Dr. Cossack. That was an unfortunate reset, wasn't it?
Yeah. I figured I'd be doing record control week. Game. Want to bet?
You seem a little bit distant in the voice. I don't think you're coming through the mic fully.
Is it better now?
It's a little bit better, yes.
And I just tried to make it a little closer, so.
So, yeah. So, tough luck on that. Other than that, you played a phenomenal
Yeah, I know.
race.
I saw that far back. I'm like, okay, this is over.
Yeah. Was it just? I've gone back way too far. Cubs rule is probably right on my tail or slightly ahead.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real way back into it.
Yeah, as soon as I started Darkness Crystal, because I figured I'd go everywhere else first. Because Slipcade with vanilla traps is a total slog for me, so I don't like going in.
Yeah, the team didn't really scream, go and do Sylph, and it was the last thing everyone did. Let's face it, and it just happened to be in the back half. Not really a whole lot to say.
Yeah. I mean, how else did you feel you ran that race? Did you feel good through it? You looked good as you were going through it.
Yeah, it seems like I've been guessing that they just started clearing up the underworld when I did my shopping later.
Yeah, it's one of those scenes where you look at it early on and you go, this could either be really punishing or really free, and it was kind of both.
I don't think we're hearing you too well, Dr. Cossack.
Yeah, I'm not really saying too much. I'm watching the.
That is absolutely fair. I think really we should let you go. Try and just get your mind off that because you played well, but it was a difficult end, and that can play on the mind, and we want you fresh for the rest of the tournament. So
yeah, it'll happen again. Don't worry.
We've all gone through it, so just good luck for your next race, and just put this one on the back burner.
Enjoy the game when it comes.
Yeah, take care. That was Dr. Cossack. Still trying to figure out, we'll see if Cubs Rule can join us or not. What you predicted just a couple minutes ago is really coming true. Cecil is really struggling against these guards right now, and Neon Gray is on the moon, is clearing stuff, looks like just got through Cave Bahamut. So Neon Gray charging from behind. We'll see how much longer Cecil does. He might go check that darkness before too long. Meanwhile, Cubs Rule 21, GG's on the race.
GG, how? Just how?
So did you talk at all with Dr. Cossack after the race room?
I caught what happened right after I finished, but that was within seconds. After that was still within seconds. It was going to be that the dreaded T word might have been popping up here right now. Yeah. That was God.
It was on the table, absolutely. Cossack had a little bit more power and had a little bit of a lead on you, but that Dark Knight crit Cecil was just a little overwhelming. You had saved outside and were able to reset out of it. It was so neck and neck up to that point in time. It was just a slight power difference, and it could have gone either way.
I figured last locationing Magma, last locationing Darkness, 20 seconds to go by Cecil a power shirt won't hurt anything. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. I in no way could I have even thought we were that close. Wow.
And Will, the other thing that I think made the difference is, you reset out of the Sand Ruby that we were like, oh yeah, that's nice. It was the only white mage in the game in Porum.
I thought it was Palom.
Yeah, it was Porum, but it was. I think Protasia said it best just a moment ago. This was looking to be either a jet seed or a really jetty seed or a really difficult seed aid, and it was sort of both.
I was just that ridiculous chain ending up in Baron. That one hurt my soul when that came up with nothing, but God, wow, there's just not much you can do at that point. I think I'm going to last location Sylph just about every race on this flag set. So
You wouldn't be the only one, and
No.
a lot of people are leaving that until very last.
Well, with an Edward anchor, it's like there's no good setup for it. So understandable, right?
Yeah. Feymarch was about as free as I've seen on this flag set. Glad I had an extra hourglass for the clappers at the end, but I don't know the last time I put arty arrows on Palom. That's been a while.
I was gonna ask. It seemed like you were really stingy with your hourglasses earlier. Is that? I think the meta is starting to build up to try to hold on to one or two of those hourglasses for warriors or hair dryers for some quick XP boost. Was that kind of what you were doing?
Yeah, I've really started playing for that, or a gauntlet in one of the locations, just to deal with the clappers, deal with the gold dragon on the moon. Just having one of those left over is invaluable. It's been lately.
Oh, and GG's to Cecil, who does finish up just 10 minutes behind our winter Cubs roll. He was the first one up on the moon. Just kind of struggled with those last guards with everything, but does manage to get through. Anyway, go ahead, Cubs.
No, I'm still here in shock after everything that happened. I don't know. I don't know how that happened.
Go back and watch the whole thing, honestly.
Yeah, it was a great race, and I think today the best thing you can say is you got lucky.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
sometimes luck. It's a randomizer. Luck does play a part.
Look, the win is a win in the end. I'm not going to be upset at all how I came about it, especially when we needed that to even the series up. The other race was earlier, so I'm waiting to go take a look at that. But no, this one came down to the wire, and I'm just relieved, I think is the best way to put it, that this one came through.
Was the other race the 6 p.m. that actually got rescheduled?
No, it was an hour before this one. It was Cryo and Flax. Yeah.
So you walked in not knowing. Okay, and we don't know either because we've been working through the whole thing.
Yeah. Getting ready to go check out the results of that one, so we'll see what happened.
But one more week of Potion Party. Next week, you still got one more race of this. Overall, how are you feeling? How is and a little bit into how are your team feeling at the moment?
This is the second week of 3 now that we've sat our A or our B, and we've been playing up. So if we can come out of this one with a win, I think we'll be thrilled. I like these flags. They're a very nice change from the last few tournaments, just kind of flipping everything on its head. But at the same time, I'm ready to see these flags go for a few weeks and get back to something a little more traditional as far as tournament flags go. Something a little more within the old comfort zone. But yeah, thank you so much, both of you. Very much looking forward to watching this one back. Both trackers today. Plagal, and Decker. Thank you so much. Everything. Zeno, GG. You hit that one well. GG. I will duck out of here so Cecil can come on in. Until next time, thank you very much, everybody. Looking forward to watching this back.
Have a good one.
Nope. And joining us now, Cecil. GG's. How I gotta tell you, first one into the lunar subterranean. You were doing very, very well that seed. Cecil.
That's weird. I can't hear anybody. What is going on?
Okay. Are you hearing us at all? Nope.
Let me switch it to another version. Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
We've been able to hear you. Can you hear us?
While Cecil is getting everything sorted, just remember to give a follow to all of these runners here tonight. Cultural 21, Dr. Cossack, Cecil, Neon Gray, all putting on one heck of a show for us.
Neon is currently going through the fight with these guards, which is still no easy fight, but we'll see how they do.
Looks like a couple of the ribbons equipped on Neon Gray's side as well, within at least a couple of the sizes.
And well, fight over quicker than we could really blink. But then again, that's the power of the levels you get from the trap chest itself.
Absolutely. Take a second look at that. This was a seed where we could not do a formal grind, and Palom still learned Meteo.
Yeah, levels are strange things in this. You think that you need a grind, you don't need everything, and you don't need it all the time. But there's enough experience out there in the setup that we have. Do we have a Cecil?
I guess I can't.
Meanwhile, that does complete. That's Neon Gray. He does finish at 1:55:03. So Cecil, the winner of that particular race, that does give his team the at least 2-0 win, maybe 2-1 if there was another race earlier, but certainly gives his team the win for the week. Meanwhile, on the other side, there was another race, so you have to go watch to figure out who won that one.
Well, hopefully that's a little better.
Hello, Cecil?
Hello, can you hear us?
Oh, hopefully that's a little better. Can you hear us? Yeah, I can hear you guys now.
All right. We do have a bit of an echo.
Yeah, I can hear you guys now. Oh, we do have a bit of an echo. Yeah, I can hear you guys now. I just had to use something different.
All right. So overall, congratulations on the win. That guard fight at the end gave you a tough time.
Congratulations on the win. That guard fight at the end gave you a tough time. Congratulations on the win. That guard fight. I did. I forgot about the ribbon, which would have helped a lot.
Yeah, but as Vitasia was saying earlier, you was the first one on the moon and really running a great race. So overall, how did you feel about your race today?
I actually felt I was about 10 minutes behind for the entire thing.
I mean, I can understand that. The best way we've described it up to this point in time, this seed was simultaneously free and incredibly difficult the entire time. Like, it was the best and worst of both worlds.
Although one difference between this week and last week was Rybon took me under his wing and went through streams and gave me a whole bunch of tips. Those helped a lot.
The power of teammates, which is definitely one of the things that was hoping to go through on this particular tournament. So great. So you got.
Other than that, great job to the other runners. I was a little concerned when I saw Dr. Cossack forfeit. I'm hoping he's all right.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you. Go back and watch. If there was any discussion of what happened or whatnot, but go back and watch it. That was an amazing race that I don't want to spoil.
And you was right there with them, so congratulations on that as well.
I do appreciate that, and the only other thing is I do apologize again for the delay. I've got to figure out what's going on with my internet. So
it all happens. Don't worry. Enjoy your evening and have and good luck for your next race coming up.
thank you again, restreamers, commentators, and everybody in the stream. You guys have a good night.
And with that, I think that will do it for us this evening. Oh wait, no, we have Neon, right?
We've got to have
Wow.
Neon
Wow.
come in.
Look, it's been a long night. We're doing quads again. I forget sometimes. My fault.
I know I was last, but
No.
You were under the radar the entire race, it seemed, which we do apologise for. But you were just steadily just going through it, and you almost pulled that back at the end.
yeah, just a lot of gambles that just did not pay off. But that's just how it goes. Like there were multiple times where I thought, well, at this late in, if I do what's probably right, I've lost. But it turned out what was probably right was correct, and I could easily have made it up if I had just chosen correctly.
And with how with the end of that, maybe just leaving 1 or 2 trap chests earlier might have finished you in front, but you wanted to be sure of the moon, or find the legend sword. Couldn't tell which one, but had to be something.
Yeah, I was going for the legend sword just because I'm like, well, you know what? It's gonna be in here somewhere, and so I'll just finish out the route. And if it's not here, I'll just, you know, I've got plenty of levels. I won't have any real issue on the moon. But it was not on that half of Self Cave, and so I had to take 3 up on the moon. Fortunately, there's the one we don't talk about, and the rest that were quite easy.
Yeah, everyone ended up dodging that particular one, or doing their best to dodge that one at any rate. It was just overall this race, we mentioned it, and it was supposed to be a joke in the early part of the seed. We took the scenic crowd, and it was kind of true.
Yeah, and you know, there was stuff on the scenic route like that. Like I saw like Xenocat in the channel mentioned that everybody went and did harp, and I think that's something I think even for the time nobody regrets that, just because you know you get that spoon on that hero Eddie, and you know that just smooths over so much of what's coming ahead.
Yeah.
Well, and by the time some people got that spoon, like you had Spoon Edward, you had Crystal Sword Cecil, you had Avenger Kane, you had a fully ready to go Palom. Like this seed just gave you all the power it felt like you could possibly want.
Oh yeah, and I mean, if you want a healer, you had nothing, but you know, just do more damage. That's
There was Porum for the Sand Ruby, or Teller on the moon.
just do more damage.
Yeah,
Look,
that
Final
works as well.
Final Fantasy 14 has taught the entire Final Fantasy community that white mages are just DPS. You still need them to do damage. So the best DPS is just get more DPS.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? Bows in this game are really good. Even a healer can be a proper green DPS. So, you know, I would have been perfectly happy with, you know, if we got Rosa somewhere. That Artie bow, that I got way out of my way for, came in handy. Just smoothing out those last 2 fights. Just you know, turning those last couple bosses into complete turtles. But you know, I would have been perfectly happy with the Rosa, but she wouldn't have been healing.
No, in the end, though, no win today. But still plenty of tournament left for you to have fun with. I'm pretty sure that's the biggest thing that you come into these tournaments for, just to have a bit of fun. And if you get the odd win here or there, great for you.
Yeah, I'm here to play a video game I like playing. And you know what, doing it in a race, you know, it's a good reason for me to, you know, play through the whole thing and not stop somewhere in the middle. So I like that, and you know what? I try to win. I'm just not very good at winning.
I can feel that. So congratulations for running a great race today. I'm sure we'll see you again further down the line, and good luck for those races coming up.
Thank you, and yeah, I will let you all go then, because yeah, we've all been here for a while. Let's all go relax or something.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. Thank you again, everybody.
Awesome. Take care. Of course, that was Neon Gray. GG's to all of our runners. Cubs Rule, Dr. Cossack, Neon Gray, Cecil. Shout out to everyone behind the scenes doing all the work. Xenocat, of course, for this restream, and the wonderful seed that was rolled today. And of course, Darth Plagueis and Dekar Smash, both for the tracking. Can't do it without you guys. And of course, my co-commentator Poydrick. This was a wild ride.
Usually is when we're commentating something.
One way or the other, like there's going to be some laughs. There's going to be some. It's going to be a great race either way. But this one just hit everything that makes the potion party so fun.
Yeah, and we could give a joke about taking the scenic route, but no, we're going to give you the direct route this time. We're going straight over to to Free Enterprise 2, where our second twin cast of the night is happening as we speak. Remember, no spoilers. Newspapers are our weapon of choice. Have a good evening and enjoy the rest of the races that are going to be happening very soon on all of our channels.